I'm him. I am that guy. I'm the same young man who dealt with that. Anyone who is in recovery, I'm them. My parents are them. My sisters are them. My children are them. They're no different. Anyone in recovery is no different than any one of us. We're all in the one community together.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Recovery Happens. I'm Patrick Patterson with BW Rock. Today we have Jeremy, who's here to offer hope from the community's perspective.
My name is Jeremy Levere. I'm a small business owner, co-owner of a small business, Mad Hatter Entertainment. And we have had a great opportunity within the last 3 years, from year one, to work with BW Rock when they started their community softball tournament. The best thing we could do from it, and our perspective of sitting there, we got to be the voices and sounds and commentate during the games. So we had the best seats in the house watching the game. But we saw much more than the game. What we saw was the community involvement between Chief Blatzer, the fire department, the police department, the church, the recovery. It put faces on people. The interactions were real. You could see the love within the community. It took stigma away from what people's idea of what people in recovery are, right? Maybe the bad inclinations that they may have thought. When you got a chance to meet people, see people interact, see their families, we got to have conversations with them. It's a wonderful event within the community to be out in the public, to take those shackles off, to show that we are one community, not just a community of recovery or a community of this. The definition of community is a place in which we work, live, and play. And that involves all of us. So together, as a community, we're all in on everything. The people in our community may have a bad perception of the people in recovery, but it's not the case. They need to give people a chance and give hope. We've had an opportunity to speak with them over the years, doing the events within the public, and it's an amazing concept, okay? They educated us in just normal life in a conversation. I had a conversation with a young man the very first year we did the softball tournament. He was a young man, he got hurt at work, he had a surgery. From that surgery, he was prescribed pain pills to get yourself through the surgery, through the recovery of that. That led him down a path. After that, when that prescription ran out, he went down a different road, took prescription pills, took harder pills, took harder, addiction went to heroin to go through that. When I saw him and got to meet him, and we shared that story with me, which is amazing. We just met, right? And that's the cool thing that shows the bravery of people. He shared that story with me. It impacted me and stuck with me. I got to see him smiling, living a great life, happy at that game, with his wife, with his young daughter. And that stuck with me. 3 years later, I myself hurt at work, had 4 surgeries in a year. I opted not to take any medication because you know what? I'm him. I am that guy. I'm the same young man who dealt with that. Anyone who is in recovery, I'm them. My parents are them. My sisters are them. My children are them. They're no different. Anyone in recovery is no different than any one of us. We're all in the one community together. And that's what I think the majority of the community needs to remember and needs to understand, that we're all in this together. The biggest triumph I've seen with BW Rock is the transition of the people who came out, who've been through the recovery program. They are leaders in the community. They have value. Our community needs to remember that. The people in recovery, they have value. They have worth. They have skills to offer others. And they work harder because they work harder on themselves. And they know who they are now and where they were. And they fight harder to stay that way. And they work harder within themselves, their jobs, and the things that they do. And that makes it an amazing, triumphant story because we're all better for it. The entire community is better because BW Rock is there to help people. And they're there to offer the help, which is amazing. And our community needs it. I think down the road, for the whole community to feel more united, is for the community to be involved. Do something very simple like go to the softball game, show up with your family, be a part of it, be in the crowd. You can see the interaction between police, fire rescue, church, and the community. Take an opportunity to speak with people. Everyone there is more than happy to talk. You can educate yourself, very simple, by just talking to people. And the amazing thing with BW Rock is the conversation's open. And that's what we need as a community, is open communication and have a talk about it. That's what shakes stigmas away.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Recovery Happens. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please give us a call at 888-68-BW-ROCK.